Thought-provoking, faith-based. The Ken and Mike Show. And now, Ken and Mike.
Yeah, buddy.
We are live. We are on.
Is it live or is it Memorex? Come on, you remember that commercial?
I don't.
You don't remember that commercial?
I don't remember that commercial.
I'm dating myself then.
You are. I knew you were single.
No.
But
Is it live or is it? Come on.
yeah.
Do you remember it, Mel?
Nope.
They were the cassette tapes.
Oh,
I
And that
remember
was
those.
Yes.
that was
Okay,
their
that's right.
advertisement.
That's
Is
right.
it live or is it Memorex?
that's right. Okay.
So are we live or is it Memorex?
I don't
don't
know.
if I got to explain the
I
joke.
don't-
It's just
I-
no fun.
It still sounds. It's all right.
Welcome to
though.
the Ken and Mike Show.
Welcome to the Ken and Mike Show. Yes, thank you so much for tuning in. We are. First, want to say thank you.
Sorry, somebody must
For-
have used my laptop. Okay.
Sorry about that. Sorry about Mike's conundrums again. But listen, we were here last week. A lot has happened. Every day something new is happening. We got a joke of an administration right now. I'm just gonna bluntly say that.
Oh, we're just going to get right into it.
So listen, I feel like I've been criticized, so I'm going to start
I've been
criticizing.
I was waiting for us to, at least warm up the audience and say hello.
Yeah, where to see us, where they can watch us, that kind of
Yes.
stuff.
No, just
Right.
jumps right into it.
Yeah.
I do. Hey, listen. So
My
you can
gosh, straight to business.
Well, for the Ken and Mike Show, is this really hot or is it just our headphones?
It's our headphones.
Okay, perfect. So listen, you can go to the BMGnetwork.com. Always go there, please. That's our network location. But you can go to the BMG Network on Facebook. Also, go to the Ken and Mike Show on Facebook for this show. And
Share us with your friends.
yes, please.
I don't think you can do watch parties anymore, can you?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't.
It keeps changing.
Yeah.
But if you can, do a watch party.
Well,
You can share it though.
Yeah, sure.
a lot of things are changing in this world.
And I bet you our audience remembers that commercial live, or is it live or is it?
I think some of them are younger than us.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Actually, younger than Kenny because we're in
Yeah.
the 40 club. So
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, fine.
I'm almost in the 40 club. I'm not there yet. I'm 39.
no,
my-
but you're behind somebody else.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Yes.
You're well behind me.
Yeah.
No, I'm at
Oh.
another person in our
Sphere?
sphere.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. I got
Okay.
you.
You're September, right?
I am.
Well, welcome.
Yeah, he's August.
Okay. I got you.
Well, welcome to the Ken and Mike Show.
Yeah, welcome to the Ken
Hey,
and Mike
before
Show.
I gotta let everybody
Yeah.
know, before the show starts, I got Kenny riled up. We won't talk about what it is, but he's gonna be raw tonight.
I just want to tell you, though, listen,
He's gonna be raw.
what we do in this life, it's about servanthood,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, sure.
And when you have an idea, it's great to express your idea.
Yep.
If you have an opinion, it's okay to talk about your opinion,
Why don't
right?
you tell us how you really feel?
Come
Kenny?
alongside somebody and help them out, though, instead of critiquing them as if you know everything in the whole entire world and you're better than everybody else.
This is great.
Have some
You talking
self.
about Cuomo?
Well, he should have some self-awareness. By the way, I do have a video that we're going to show. Not right now. You don't have to get them. We're going to show a video of Cuomo. I'm sorry that you have to see his face, but I think it's imperative to listen to his sincere apology. I do.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's very sincere.
Oh, I'm
okay?
sure it is.
If he did if anybody it was offended, if they were offended, he is truly sorry.
Kenny, are you offended tonight?
No, I'm just aggravated. No, but listen, though, there's a lot of good things. Listen, if you, by the way, on the BMGnetwork.com, if you go there, you have to. I implore you, go to our personal network magazine internet version of Your Daily Perusal. Ted Flint has put another amazing piece up, which I'll read a little bit in a little while. And by the way, we might have the master, Pac-Man, on tonight at some point. He might call in so we can talk to Ted Flint himself of the Pac-Man podcast, who is also the contributor to Your Daily Perusal on our website. And he had put a great column up entitled Equality for Whom? And he hits it hard because really the left is touting equality and morality.
There isn't a single thing equal coming out of the White House right now.
I don't know how I don't see how you can put left and equality in the same sentence or left and morality in the same sentence. It doesn't fit. listen to this real quick, and we got a lot to get to. But obviously, we all know about Dr.
I'm going to
Seuss.
sit back and get my popcorn. Right?
Hey, we still have that bag?
Well, here we go. Kenny.
Yeah, no, listen to me.
I'll switch to Kenny right now.
No, I'm sorry. I'm heated up right now. You got me right. You shouldn't have got me riled up before the show.
I love
Now that got me really frustrated. Now I'm frustrated at the left.
it. Bring it in.
Okay.
Bring it in. You need a
Okay,
hug? You need a
yeah.
hug?
Give me a tap. Let me ask you a question. Now, this is also on the Ken Burns show, by the way, too. I kind of talked about this, but are you ready? You all know about Dr. Seuss. Listen to this headline and tell me that already it's the stupidest thing you ever heard. It's
Dumb.
Okay. Right. Because you know it came from the left. Okay. It's a moral decision. Right there aggravates me. Dr. Seuss books are being recalled, not canceled. Experts say. Experts say.
Who are these experts?
It's a moral decision. These are the same people that are saying when you're 5 years old and you decide that you want to be something else, you can chop it off. These are the same people. These are the same people. I'm sorry, but these are the same people that would put the Cuties movie up on Netflix and say, "Hey, watch this," and then justify it and say, "No, this was absolutely necessary for our society today." These are the same people that are pro-abortion, funding it globally, and then in the same sentence saying that this is a moral decision. They don't know what morality is. They're not even living in a reality right now, let alone having moral thoughts. What are you talking about? So we can't watch. I want you to hear this real quick. And let me ask you if you're offended after I read this.
Yes.
Are you offended already? Do you guys know, the Dr. Seuss, did you read Dr. Seuss?
Yes.
You did. Okay. One of the books is entitled "And to Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street."
Mm-hmm.
Okay. An Asian person is portrayed wearing a conical hat, holding chopsticks, and eating from a bowl.
Bet you if I go to Asia, I see that.
So I did go to Asia, and guess what they were eating with, and where they were eating out of. And you know what I thought to myself when I read any of this kind of stuff? It doesn't make me get like, "Oh my gosh, this is so wrong." I go, "Oh, that's really cool to learn more about the culture." What is wrong with describing cultures in a caricature?
My question is there something negative about that? Who's giving it the connotation of negativity?
Once again, I'm going to go back to what Sam Sorbo said with us: microaggressions. Let's take something so small and just make it so big.
Mm-hmm.
Another form of how to get power and control.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm going to stop for a second because I'm going to look on.
You're going to stop?
I'm going to stop.
You sure?
Yes.
Positive?
I need to take a breath.
I'm enjoying this.
I'll take over Ken for you.
Okay.
We're just going to call this the Ken Show tonight. I mean, I'm really enjoying this.
Yes.
So
Okay.
please,
No,
I'll just sit back.
it's all you now, Mike.
No, please, go. How do I feel about this?
Yeah. How do you feel
I don't
about
have
this?
really an opinion on the Dr. Seuss things because it's just so asinine. It's ridiculous.
Thank you.
I mean, it doesn't even. I can't even. I don't want to dignify it with a discussion.
Right.
Yes, the person. I don't even know much about it, but I'm told, and from a little research I did, yeah, he was a little bit of a racist.
Okay.
Okay, but again, what we're doing is we're looking in the past through the lenses of 2020 or 2021 now. Okay, you can't look to the past and judge that culture by the standards of today. You can't. It can't be done, and we got to do that with everything. Whether it be from the 1400s, even prior to today.
Yes.
You cannot judge the past by the lenses of today. Will never work, can't work, and if you continue to do that, you're just going to find yourself being offended by everything.
Thank you. Yes.
I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
You're going to be offended by everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I got to say on
Right. And that's it, though. Where does it end?
It doesn't, because they want to create a society where we are so pitted against each other, whether it be canceling everything out, whether there's an agenda just to cancel everything out, or so pitted against each other that we are either so distracted by the nuances of what they're putting before us, or what we're supposed to be angry about, what we're supposed to be offended on, that we're so distracted by beating each other up that whatever they're doing isn't in our purview.
Exactly. Yep.
So that's my maybe my conspiracy theory on that. Or they just want to cancel everything to completely reshape
Mm-hmm.
what is known as the American culture.
I saw something come across when I was looking at news articles at some point, and it was about Speedy Gonzalez. And
They're going after Looney Tunes.
No, that's going to be next.
So
No, they
that's
are.
going to be a problem.
the Latinos.
No, they are already.
The
are
Latinos,
they?
yeah, but the Latinos kind of said, "Hey, whoa, slow down. We're not like." Here's the thing: you guys know the guy who did all the voices, Mel Blanc.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you ever watched. He was amazing, obviously, incredible, and you guys know this, but when he did these,
tell us.
but when he did these Spanish like accents and stuff like that, was he really making fun, or was he just being part of the character and the culture?
Does it matter?
That's exactly. It doesn't really matter. If somebody did it to us, it's really not that
You
big of a deal.
give something power by
Yeah.
the way you perceive it and the way you choose to, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but the way you choose to develop that in your own psyche, in your own mind, and you give it that power.
Yes.
But if you start there, you have to end.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, there is no end. So, how many movies have an actor or actress that is not the nationality?
Right. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
That's right.
So if you start canceling
Yeah.
in one area, you have to go to every area. And eventually where you get to is, you ever see the movie WALL-E?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the movie, everybody was overweight,
Yes.
everybody was distracted by things in front of them
Yeah.
and everything. Eventually, and everybody wore red. Remember, everybody was wearing red.
I do
and then
remember
all of a
that,
sudden
yes.
they say, get blue. Blue's a new color. Everybody turned blue. That's the pretty much point where it goes to, where everything what happened, everything was owned by the same company, same organization, destroyed the world, and we left it. I mean, that's ultimately where you get to. Everything's going to be the same. There's everything is Pepsi or Coke, or everything is this, everything is that. Nothing is different, and that's where you get to.
Have they canceled Robert Downey Jr. yet? What was that movie he played where he played a black man?
Oh, right. Yeah. Right. No, I actually heard him not that long ago.
He played an Indian guy.
No, it was that one day. He was a black guy.
I don't know, but he played Lone Ranger,
Yeah.
or he played in Lone Ranger. He was Tonto.
Right, but I think people know. I think you guys know, the audience, where we're going with this. I mean, by the way, I love Looney Tunes. I still watch Looney Tunes. I'm not stopping. I own the videos. I have the movies. So take them away from me.
Get them now while you can.
The thing is now if you look on, you can explore this a little bit on whatever browser. You can look at the ones that were actually taken out, so that way people wouldn't watch it. There was ones that were kind of like Nazi-esque. You know, there's like, I don't know if you ever saw those ones. There are ones that
There's a couple where the guys have big noses.
there's a Nazi one. There's also one that kind of like, it does. Now, I will say, I'm glad that they don't have it in there, but it did make, I forget Lazy Street or something like that. There's just one particular one, and it did portray black people in a certain light. It was a little bit much, and I'm glad they did away with that one. But for the most part, I mean, and that was a long time ago that they did that. For the most part, though, any of these things, if you really, like you said, if you want to find something that's offensive or seems racist, or, oh, they're depicting this person as such, people make fun of Kim Jong-un, people make fun of Donald Trump, people make fun of Barack Obama, people make fun of Ross Perot, Michelle Obama, badly. Do you think it's just kind of the human nature that we all kind of pick on each other a little bit?
Right. Yes, absolutely.
Or do you think it's just people are just such horrible people? Because I'll tell you what, black and white people do it, whether you want to hear that or not. Yes.
No, I
Yes.
do it twice.
Yeah. So we could all tell each other that we're all racist. Has nothing to do with that at all. For me, it is if your attitude stinks, I'll call you on your attitude. Your attitude stinks. I'm not going to pay attention to you. Like, go.
Here's my whole point on my whole
Yeah.
perspective on cancel culture. Number one, the cancel culture in itself, everything that we're canceling, just goes against the fundamental constitutional rights of the American citizen.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
Freedom of speech, freedom of expression. This may be controversial. I don't care what the heck you speak or publish or put out there.
Yeah.
You have the right to do so.
Right.
You could. This is going to sound awful, but you could produce a book on, I don't know, how to violate middle-aged women in Chicago.
Right.
Just throwing something out there.
That's pretty
Just specifically.
Check his
Yeah.
flight records.
I'm just saying you could
Get
do
his
that.
hard drive. Yeah.
You can do that, and you can publish it all you want. Put it out there. Problem is, number one, it's not going to sell. So the American populace itself is going to dictate what can and can't be produced, or what shouldn't be produced.
Right.
Your bottom line is going to affect it. It's not going to sell, blah, 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 but you're the idiot for producing it.
Right.
But that is your right. You could put anything out there. I'm sorry. I am fully for. You can put out posters that it could be so racist and colorful. Go ahead, do it.
Yeah.
See how far that gets you.
Right.
But it's your right to do so.
Mm-hmm.
And you know the backlash from it is ultimately going to be the price you pay.
Right.
You know, it shouldn't be legislated. It shouldn't be cultured. It shouldn't be, social media dictated.
Mm-hmm.
None of that. There's no place for that here in America. Freedom of speech and freedom of expression is just that. You can do whatever. You can say whatever you want.
And if you do, I can not look at it.
Right.
I cannot read it.
Yes.
I cannot buy it.
We can all make choices, right?
You can make choices to not participate. There's people who there's the black market. There's websites to go and see horrible things, Weinstein's Island and that kind of stuff.
Yes.
You can choose to go see that stuff.
Or
you could choose not.
Which is amazing that all the friends of Weinstein that probably knew what was going on the whole time are somehow not their friends anymore. They're not friends any longer. And and then you have
Epstein.
Weinstein.
Yeah,
Epstein too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Epstein too.
But then you have Cuomo, which we'll get to in a minute. But we have Cuomo, who literally all these allegations. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say that I don't know these women. I mean, sometimes, especially when they want to out somebody, they could press it.
They find them.
Yeah, right. But the thing is, I mean, sometimes
Is Cuomo getting the same treatment that Kavanaugh got?
no. That's just it right there. I was going to get to that. Keep going.
That's basically the only point I wanted to make.
Yeah.
Is he getting the same treatment?
No.
Right now, they're more the left. Now, they should be upset about this, but they're more getting on the bandwagon of how he handled the nursing home issue with COVID
Right.
than they are handling the sexual allegations that are against him. Had this been, and it was, a Republican or a conservative, i.e. Kavanaugh, one person who had no witnesses to even validate this, they wanted to hang him from the gallows.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
But Cuomo, we have three.
Yeah. Women, you're saying?
3 women.
No, there's like 6 now.
Oh, is it more now?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've heard of 3.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. We have 6.
Yeah.
Why? Where
Can we get a
is-
7?
Where is the anger? Where is the calling for someone's head that Kavanaugh got for one?
Where's the feminist?
Guys, I should just keep my mouth shut, but the reality is though, you guys were boys in high school, right? Nothing's changed, right?
Yes. Well, I'm a man now.
Yeah, well, I will tell you, girls are just as stinking bad.
Oh yeah.
And boys, yes, it's kind of in our nature. I mean, we're kind of...
All viewpoints spoken on this show are not representative of everybody on this show.
But the reality is there something called flirting and stuff like that. Now, I get you're a married man, you're a public figure, you're in a high...
Hey.
Yeah. When you are held to a certain standard,
Yep.
especially as someone... number one, Cuomo, you probably never hear this, but you are not a king, by the way, or a dictator. You don't deserve... I'm getting off on a tangent, but do you know Liz Lemery Joy? I've mentioned her before. You've seen her. She ran against Paul Taco.
Mm-hmm.
She's been on Newsmax and stuff like that too. I used to record with her at the station. She actually came out recently. Listen to this? It's gonna make you puke. People had to pay it I don't know when this was, but to get a picture with him, you had to pay between $5,000 and $10,000 to get a photo with him. Who the heck would pay
I
$1?
only charge $5.99.
So he actually went, and she was describing this on OANN, actually. And he goes, hey, come take a picture with me. And so she's like, okay, I didn't pay. But he's like, no. And he grabbed her kind of by the thing, and it made her uncomfortable. But this is the kind of weirdness, this guy kind of vibe that he brings.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I don't do it justice. Give me a thumbs up when you have that video ready, and we'll kind of get like that. And you good? Okay, so this is the video of Cuomo saying I'm sorry. He's embarrassed.
Cuomo apologized.
I now understand that I acted in a way that made people feel uncomfortable. It was unintentional, and I truly and deeply apologize for it. I feel awful about it, and frankly, I am embarrassed by it.
Two former aides accused the
going.
governor
It's
of
fine.
sexual harassment. Charlotte Bennett says Cuomo made it clear to her that he wanted to sleep with her, saying he asked about her sex life, whether she was monogamous, and whether she had ever slept with an older man.
If they were hurt
Yeah.
by it,
He didn't
I
know.
apologize.
Yes, if they were hurt.
And if they felt pain from it, I apologize. I apologize. I did not intend it. I didn't.
It
mean
wasn't
that
intended?
way.
No.
Have you ever
The
slept with an
governor
older
then
man? That wasn't
declaring
intended?
this.
I want you to know this from me directly.
Okay, listen.
I never touched anyone inappropriately.
But another former aide, Lindsey Boylan, says the governor
another
gave
one.
her an unwanted kiss. And a third woman, Anna Rook, who met Cuomo at a wedding, said the governor took her face in his hands and asked to kiss her.
You can go find hundreds of pictures of me kissing people.
It's his custom.
Men, women. It is my usual and customary way of greeting.
Cuomo says he's not about to quit.
Ready? Here we
I
go.
wasn't elected by politicians. I was elected by the people of the state of New York.
Not me.
I'm not going to resign.
There you go. You can stop it now. I don't want to hear anymore. So that's it.
No.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Where have I heard this before? Where have I heard this before? I did not have
Clinton.
sex with that woman.
Sexual relations.
Yes.
Yes. And then he came out and said he did.
How come I have a feeling this is going to come back?
Either
and bite
way,
us again?
this is just the hypocrisy that we find on the left. Again, morality doesn't. They can kind of like squeeze out of that a little bit. It's no
Morality's
big
relative to them.
deal. Yeah.
It's relative to them. I mean, if it was a conservative, I mean, obviously they know exactly where the moral line is.
Right.
They know
Got it.
exactly where that moral line is.
And you crossed it, buddy.
Yes, but if it is on the left, not saying not to
Yeah.
excuse anything that might
Right.
be, awful that anybody
Right.
conservative or someone that we would
Right.
support.
Sure.
Not giving that an excuse. But being on the left, well, that line seems to move.
Oh, a lot.
It kind of shifts back
Right.
and forth. Well, he didn't touch her too much.
Right.
That seems to be the way it goes.
Right.
He
5 times,
tapped-
6 times, maybe.
He tapped her butt.
Yeah,
He
right.
didn't grope it.
We haven't established an actual limit of how many times you can touch.
Right.
So 10, I don't know. We have to, get some advisors,
Had
experts
he
together.
done it an 11th
Yeah.
time, I'd be calling for an impeachment.
Right.
But since
Well,
he only did it 10
right.
times,
Well, maybe not an impeachment, Mike. Maybe we'll just
Okay.
get the experts involved and come up with a legit
counseling. That's where we got to go with
right.
this.
But don't let him resign. He's doing a great job.
Right. So,
with the nursing
but since he's
homes.
doing
Yes.
such a good job,
Mm-hmm.
now that's subjective.
Mm-hmm.
But since he's doing such a wonderful job, we can give him a pass
Yes.
because he's doing such a good job. We're going to give him a slap on the wrist,
Mm-hmm.
let him know you do bad.
Yes.
You go bedroom.
Yes.
You don't come out for dinner.
Right.
And we'll just let it pass.
Right.
And then when this all simmers down, he gives a nice little fake apology,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll forgive him and we'll move on. That's old news.
Yeah.
But Kavanaugh,
Yeah.
you thought about it. You
Yeah.
were there. You were drinking. You had to have done it.
Yes. You wrote her a love letter. Oh, I'm so sorry. What did the love letter say? I mean, that's not
You
what
went to the
happened.
same college.
Yeah, right. You went to.
Well, she accused him, didn't she? It had to have happened.
Yeah, right. Of course.
I'm just saying.
Right.
Let's call a spade a spade.
Exactly. And by the way, if something happened I'm not saying horrible. I'm not talking about rape or something like that. But if something like happened, flirty or something like that, and the girl they didn't, when you're 15 years old, welcome to life. And teenagers, that's what they do. That's what you do. You're discovering things. there needs to be boundaries. I mean, you can't cross certain boundaries. The left can have their own
God
boundaries.
forbid I ever run for political office.
But don't say this on the air, man. No.
I'm serious.
Yeah. Yes, I know what you mean.
God forbid I ever run for political office.
Oh,
I
they'll
mean,
turn every stone.
yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
I mean, being in high school, did I say things that were inappropriate in the locker room? Yes.
I don't know anybody who didn't. I mean,
Did I?
Kavanaugh.
Oh. Cuomo never did. This is his first occasion.
Right.
I mean,
I mean, he got 7 accusations, so
right. Look at I'm pretty sure he was just trying to get to the real point, and that wasn't
he didn't mean to.
No, he didn't
offend
like
them.
the women. He just really wanted somebody to take a look at his nipple rings. He really wanted.
This show is going
Anyway.
fast.
Okay, on to another subject. We might have the Pac-Man calling us at any time.
I don't know if he's listening in. He might next week, guys.
No, he'll get in there. But I do want to go on to a couple things here. I do want to talk about.
You tell us what you want to do, Ken.
Yeah, I will. Okay. One of the things is I do want to tell you guys, give you guys some numbers that might blow your mind when it comes to the stimulus package, and what they should have done with the money.
9% is all I got to say.
Yeah, right.
9%.
Well, I'm going to tell you what they should have done and how whoever would have done it the way that I'm going to tell you would be a hero, but they're not going to do it. But I want to listen to this, though.
I have a simple plan.
What's your simple plan?
0.
That's a good idea. I think the plan that I'm going to tell you should be the way that it goes because it would be taking it back from the government, putting it into the American people's pocket.
How about we take these? Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
I like what you're saying.
How about we take the bring back the Social Security account that they turned into a government slush fund?
Right. Yes.
Let's start there.
That's a great idea, actually.
Let's start
That's
there.
a great idea.
And go ahead, because I'm going to get on.
I was going to say, one of the things that I don't know if this is in our title or what, but we talked about, though, too, is, the cancer culture, is everything got to be racist, but also we mentioned equality. And the left is very much about unity, Mel. I don't know if you knew that. Mike, you knew it. Yeah. I just wanted to let you know.
They are so.
They look unified.
They are so much about unity.
Right.
I'm announcing right now I'm switching parties.
Okay.
Oh, is that why they can have both genders in one bathroom?
Exactly.
About unity? Okay.
And you can see Kamala Harris behind Joe every time he speaks at all the.
We did it, Joe.
Right, but she sits behind him.
Put a mask
She's just anxious. You can just tell she's like, oh, I can't
She
wait till he's
can't
out of the
wait.
way. Yeah,
She's chomping at the bit.
And I'm telling you,
Hey,
right-
there's
yeah,
a theory right now, and I even heard
Yeah.
it on a popular news show.
he's out to
today,
lunch.
that they've already started the
process.
transition.
I read an article about that.
They've already started the process. They've already started the transition of the Kamala Harris presidency. Now, I'm not a big conspiracy theorist.
Right.
I'm
Well,
not, but
Republican
I wouldn't be surprised if it happened.
Republican Matt Gaetz.
Not
Gates.
familiar. Gates.
Gaetz,
yes.
is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
Gaetz.
Don't mess it up again.
I apologize about that. Well, listen, Epoch Times.
Yeah, no,
you know,
Wow.
Hey, he's not the only one who said it wrong.
no,
A
somebody.
very famous
Yes.
person on YouTube actually said it. He got
Well, how do you
corrected by his
spell
producer.
epic?
Right, I know.
How do you spell epic?
Epic is EPIC.
So EPOCH to me is epic.
Right. I get
Or
you.
epoch.
Epoch. But listen, Republican Matt Gaetz, I'm going to go along with what you just said, and then we'll go back to the other stuff. But on Sunday, suggested a transition to an administration guided by Vice President Kamala Harris has already begun.
Does that transition require surgery?
I think that's already happened.
That was Michelle.
That was it.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
You mean Michael?
In an interview on one of our competitors, Fox News,
Wow.
Gaetz blasted President Joe Biden for holding so few news conferences. I'm sorry, we're having fun tonight. Too much, aren't we?
I'm loving it.
Okay. You have to wonder whether the
Tune in next week.
Yeah. You have to wonder whether the transition to Harris has already begun, he said. Joe Biden has had now before I say this, because it's way funnier what I'm about to say, I'm being serious for a second. He hasn't had any press conferences. You notice that?
No,
Yeah.
it's true. Yeah.
Yeah, then he had two. He had the
No,
one.
he has not had any official press conferences that he has addressed the press.
Do you know why the reason they gave was? He's
Because the
too
teleprompter doesn't work?
he's too busy.
Yeah, taking his meds.
He sat down. He sat down on Zoom the other day.
Do you realize we've had presidents
No,
that,
we're talking presidential
Yeah.
press conferences.
No, I know he's too
Right.
busy, but he did a Zoom with Pelosi.
Yeah, and they'll cut
Yeah.
the
And
feed
then
in a
he-
second. He said,
And then he talked with the doctors and forgot his mask.
Right. Well, listen though. Do you know that we've had? I know you know this. I'm just being facetious a little bit though. Do you realize we've had presidents that have gone through serious wars? You know, we had World War I, we had World War II, we had Vietnam, and
we had
some
9/11.
somehow these guys were able to do press conferences in really pressing times to make sure they get to the public and be in the public eye to actually talk and
I
speak.
think it's his duty to do so because I think you have an obligation to the American people who apparently voted you in to at least be able to address them and you're able to demonstrate to them that you have the capacity to do your job.
That you're well.
Yeah. Everybody, okay. What? And I know that it seems like we're just bashing people. I'm not bashing, and I'm trying to be funny. It's obvious. Just look back from like 2012 to this to 2021. The guy's faculties are gone. I mean, he's not there.
Well, I wouldn't say they're gone, but they are severely declined.
Okay, I'm gonna give him 98% that he's not.
No, they're severely
I'm
they're
joking.
severely declined.
They are. That's what I'm saying.
And the defense, they said, well, he's always dealt with a stutter. I
This is
wish I
not
could say
stutter-
what I want to say, but that's bogus.
Yeah, that's not stuttering. I'm sorry.
No,
You-
it's not stuttering. Stuttering. He's
no idea
just,
what he's talking
that's
about.
stuttering.
Yeah. So listen, though, he said you have to wonder whether the transition to Harris has already begun. So he said Joe Biden has had more nap time than questions from reporters. Joe Biden has had more attacks on Syria than he's had press conferences, and so you have to ask the progressive voters.
He's drank more meals through a straw.
Right. Yeah. Is this really what you expected, progressive voters? Is this what you wanted? A warmonger president like Joe Biden when Donald Trump did so much to bring peace to the world and to actually confront the real threat, China, not to be trying to build democracies out of blood and sand and Arab militias in a desert far away.
Hey,
So-
left. Go ahead.
No, I'm glad he said that.
Hey, left. Anybody on the left? If I'm any other opposing country to the U.S., now is my opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Do you not see this, left? Do you think? I mean, I'm not even trying to be clever here, and I'm not trying to be creative or even use hyperbole. If you want to take advantage of a country right now, now is the time to do it. Does anybody see him seriously as a leader? As much as you hate Trump, and I will go on air and say I understand why you hated Trump. I get it.
Yeah.
May not agree with it, but I fully get it, and you can defend it, and I can understand your defense for it. Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That being said, you knew who Trump was as a leader, and you knew you probably don't want to rattle that cage.
Right.
Biden, he's in the cage licking lollipops, man. And the dude
Right.
rattle that cage. You think, hey, let's go, let's
Right.
play.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
Seriously, if you're Russia, if you're China, if you're Syria, you're Iran, you're North Korea, you know, they're going, you think that guy? I mean, seriously, if I'm looking at who's representing the United States right now, holy cow, put him in a straitjacket for, wow.
I don't think you have to do that. You just have to put him in like a dark room and just he'll fall asleep and
No, I
Close
think
the
I
door.
think you just bring him to the local Lego store and let him play in the corner.
he would think it's the White House. It's fine. Listen,
And I'm not bashing the
Right.
guy. Trust me. I can prove this. I even said 2 years ago when he was announcing that he possibly could run. I said this guy could beat Trump. And because
we
he
talked
had,
about it actually. You said Biden's the only running mate. I mean, the only pretty much runner up that has a chance, basically.
Yeah. And I said Biden could win because he has that folksy, approachable. Everybody relates to him as grandpa, the guy in the corner.
Great sense of smell.
You're a jerk.
He could smell really good.
But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I could see the appeal,
Yes.
but that is long gone.
Yeah.
That is long gone. In the past 2 years, somebody flipped a switch in that man's brain,
Yeah.
in that head.
Yep.
I don't know if he ate too much tuna fish, he's snorting mercury, what he's doing. But you cannot tell me that we actually have a representation in the White House that has anything to do with the American people.
No, we don't. And we talked about that in our last show, I think it was. And then we talked about the fact that he does not represent. Remember, he said, "Oh, it's all right. We're going to play that video. We couldn't play that video." But he said, you know, an American president can't be sustained as an American president if he doesn't reflect the values of America. You're going to tell me that he reflects the values of America?
Absolutely not.
Maybe some of the people that are living here right now, maybe some of the people that are coming in and don't actually belong here and are getting stimulus checks too, by the way.
Hey, even the left is starting to turn on things as like we would thought were weird.
Yeah.
That would be unheard of. The wall. They're turning on him about what's going on down at the border.
Because it's out of control.
Even the left is saying, I mean, I'm not saying they're supporting the wall, but they're saying, yo, something's going on and we got to do something down there.
Yes.
And he just said, open the door.
Oh, yeah.
How are we a sovereign country? How are we even a country if we don't have borders? How do we defend that we are the United States of America if it's a free-for-all? Mm-hmm. You don't have a country if it's wide open.
Yeah, borders, language, and culture.
That's what exactly. If you just say everybody can just come and no COVID tests, no that stuff, you're just letting everything open, how do we have a country?
Well,
but go to Joe's house.
Yeah.
Try to go to Joe's house.
Try to go to Joe's house.
Which one? Does he know where his house is?
Doesn't matter. Any of them. Try to go to his house. What do you get stopped by?
Right. Exactly. It's the same thing with all those guys. But that's good. Here's a great news. Not great news because he's already there, so we can't get him out. But half of America doubts President Joe Biden is physically or mentally fit for the job. Half.
Then who the heck voted for him?
Mm-hmm. So this is according to the latest poll, not by Epoch, but by Rasmussen.
You got something I could throw at him?
It is an alarming finding after reports of President of Biden failing to remember the name of Defense Secretary. You probably heard this, Lloyd Austin, calling him the guy that runs a dime that runs that outfit over there. Kind of like, you know the thing. You know, this guy he doesn't know what he's talking about.
We hold these true.
These self-evident. You know the thing. Okay, the defense guy that I was told to sign.
Yeah, who runs the outfit?
He has an outfit on over there.
He runs the outfit.
So
the Pentagon.
Yeah,
Joe.
The two question survey asked this: how concerned are you that President Biden has not held a press conference? That was one of the questions. The other one was: how confident are you that Joe Biden is physically and mentally up to the job of being president of the United States? So the two might be related, and the responses were too, as 50% of likely voters lacked confidence in President Biden's fitness for office, while 52% of likely voters were concerned he has yet to hold a press conference, including 32% who were very concerned. How is anyone not very concerned? Like, if you had that little scale that says, "Are you
we're
concerned?"
not going to get through 4 years. We're not going to make it.
Well, Kamala will get us there. Don't worry. Don't worry, man.
We're not going to make it.
We're going to get there.
We're not gonna make it.
This is just how it goes, man. But yeah, we're going to get to a couple things. One of the things I wanted to talk about, and hopefully, again, Pac-Man will hopefully be calling in. If he doesn't, I will do him some justice right now because he just put a good piece. If you go to the BMGnetwork.com, go to read, go to the Your Daily Perusal. He just put a great piece up entitled, he's got a great columns up there, by the way. One of them called, this is the brand new one that just came up on March 5th. It's Equality for Whom? And he talks about it. Listen, congressional Democrats have labeled it the Equality Act. We've heard this before. But for Christians following the dictates of their faith and their consciences, it is anything but. The bill, which has already passed a democratically controlled House, would add sexual orientation and gender identity as protected classes under the federal civil rights law. Fortunately, thanks to some, arcane rules in the Senate, 10 Republicans would have to support the bill in order for it to reach the president's desk. That's a pretty tall order, but certainly not impossible. The Equality Act, if enacted, would force business owners and employees to conform to the new guidelines under threat of losing their livelihoods. So that's part of the piece that he puts together here. Now, the problem is with the Equality Act. Do you remember, you guys saw the piece with Rand Paul?
Yes.
You saw that?
Mm-hmm.
He tried to ask a question. Is that a man or a woman, by the way?
Rachel Levine, that's a man. It's a
Trans.
trans woman.
It's obvious, just so everybody knows. I mean,
and that heads the health.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, she knows she doesn't need any mental health therapy at all. Obviously, she's got it all together, and so that she asked specific questions. He did. He asked specific questions.
Don't misgender him.
Yeah. He said, he goes, so you're saying a 5-year-old, 3-year-old, yeah.
He's a 3-year-old.
And this is the person that's that's part of the administration that's running our country. That's okay to you guys?
I don't let my children decide what's for dinner. Okay? I don't let my children decide what they will.
What? You don't let them eat?
Yeah.
I don't let them decide what they will not participate in their curriculum. Okay? I don't let them decide how we spend our finances in our household.
Right.
I don't let them decide what car I'm going to buy. Why? Because, number one, they're not responsible enough for it. But they can decide whether or not they want their thing cut off at 5 years old.
This is madness.
Where do we stay? Stop it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who you're pandering to. I don't care what your ideology is. I don't care what your faith is. I don't care what your agenda is. At some point, stop it.
Yes.
This is, and my gosh, I don't curse, but I want to just like, ugh.
I get it.
At what point do we just
Yeah.
listen? If you're looking for a way to rile up a people, a citizenry in this country, you're doing a good job. If you're looking for somebody to come beat down your door and
Yeah.
slaughter you,
Yeah.
and I'm not.
I know what you're
I'm
saying.
not saying, but if you're looking to get a
And
bullet,
you know what we're saying too.
if you're looking to get a bullet in your head,
Yeah.
keep doing what you're doing. Keep it up.
Well, you see more and more of these things happening all the time. And one of the things that, I'm not going to read his whole piece, but one of the things he goes on to say later on in his piece, again, go to the bmgnetwork.com. These kinds of cases will become, because he mentioned a case before, these kinds of cases will become more numerous if the Equality Act becomes law. Listen, this latest attempt of progressives to normalize abnormal behavior could radically affect the family, just as you're talking about, the family dynamic, and potentially threaten parental rights. We're losing our rights already. Your teenager can go, if they get pregnant, they don't have to tell you about it, and they can go take care of it, and you'll never know. Unless they decide to open up and talk to you about it, which usually they do, because you know what happens to them? They feel distressed, emotionally jacked up, and really hurt for the rest of their lives for doing something like that. They're not happy about it. They were scared. And somebody came along and said, no, don't worry, just do it this way. Well, shame on you. But
In what world is that acceptable? In what world does that have a positive outcome? In what world can you justify that is okay? I don't care how left you are.
Mm-hmm.
Your 10-year-old girl.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I hope this isn't happening, but this does happen.
Mm-hmm.
All right, as loony left as you are, whoever you are, and you have a child, 10 years old, and you believe in these policies, your 10-year-old girl gets pregnant. You support her ability to go down to her local Planned Parenthood without you knowing.
Yeah.
And have that pregnancy terminated. I'm not even talking about whether or not abortion is right or wrong. I haven't even got there yet.
But they can't have liquor and they can't smoke.
Right. I'm just saying, I haven't even gotten to that point
Right,
yet.
I know what you're saying, yeah.
I've gotten to the point where you as a parent, number one, for the psychological development and benefit of your child, don't you think you should know?
You should. And by the way, we have nobody on the line right now. If you want to call in, you can. But I don't know. You can just push on my button and see if Ted has even tried. But listen, like you're just saying, listen to this.
Oh, he texted us.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he said he doesn't want to join this radical extreme station.
He didn't text me. He doesn't have text. He doesn't have. Ted does not have
I
text.
know, that's
Yeah,
why
you
I
funny
said
guy.
that.
You
No,
funny boy.
I looked outside and I saw the smoke signal say that.
Yeah. Recently, parents in Ohio lost custody of their 17-year-old daughter because they refused to put her on testosterone supplements. Do you know that there's article after article after article? Not article, I should
When
say,
are you legally an
study.
adult in this country?
18.
18. That is the law,
Yeah.
right? That's when you're a legal adult.
Yeah, but the law says that you can't come to this country illegally either, Mike.
When you want to
Yeah.
make those decisions at 18 years old, whether I like them or not, fine. Make those decisions. You're responsible for yourself. You're living in my house. You're living under my roof. I'm paying your bills, paying your taxes. The government has no place in a free society, in a free country, to tell me what I cannot dictate for my children. Am I harming them? Am I beating them? Is their welfare at risk? No. Shut up and get out.
Exactly. 100%. But here's the thing. There's documentation after documentation after documentation. That's what I wanted to say. That's the word. Of cases where they had these performance, they performed these transitional things on
Surgeries.
Yeah, surgeries. And these are hurting children that can't really, now they've already got a beard. I mean, I saw this one particular
I've seen
video.
some women with some beards. Settle down.
No,
They haven't hit puberty yet.
I seen this one, and she was actually a beautiful girl. Looked completely like everything was fine. Was a great singer.
She had a goatee.
Was a great singer. Decided to go through, wanted to be a boy. Got all that stuff done. Now it's like a very, very pretty boy, And yeah.
Can you say that again?
Yeah, but still missed singing, but had to relearn and retrain herself, because the voice was now different.
Mm-hmm.
But these people come back later on in life and say, or sometimes it's suicide happens, or they're just stuck in.
That's our fault. The suicide happens.
Yeah.
Just letting you know that.
Yeah. Well,
Because we didn't accept them the way they are, so they were
right.
The burden of us not accepting them has created them to commit suicide. That's the excuse they use.
Got you.
It has nothing to do with the fact that something's not right.
Right.
And I don't say that to be
No,
derogatory.
you're not saying it like that.
I'm not saying
yeah.
oh, you're screwed up and you're crazy
Yeah.
in the head. I'm not saying that.
Something happened.
Just not right. Something,
Yeah.
yeah, something happened. All right, say we pay for these transitions.
Yeah.
When they wake up one morning, and this happens,
Mm-hmm.
and they go, man, I was wrong.
This happens
And they-
all the time.
Yeah, and they want to transition back. Who pays for that?
Yeah.
Well, not only that, they transition, but they're still the same on the inside.
Oh, exactly the point. It's kind of like this. Something happens to you here in New York, and you decide, I'm out of here. I got to get away from this thing. You flee. That never leaves because you didn't deal with it. So whatever it is, you have to, as hard as it is, you have to, whether it's something that happened to you in your past, you have to go to somewhere. You have to go somewhere. Obviously, if you have the Lord, that's the best place to go. But you do need to go to somebody, whether that's a counselor, whether that's a good friend, and talk about whatever happened and get healed from it before putting just a Band-Aid on it. And these are not the Band-Aids that
These
you
are
want.
with bad side effects.
These are bad surgeries. This is like you're going, you know what? I don't even know if my bone's broken, but give me the surgery anyway. There's nothing. It's a mental thing. Well, just give me the surgery. Okay, we'll pay for it, I guess. But this is what's happening, Mike. You're exactly right. It's just
Alexander, hold on. I want to give a props to somebody who's watching us right now because she's been commenting throughout the whole show.
She has been, yeah.
oh
Alexander, thank you for watching.
yes, thank you.
Yes.
But her last comment resonates pretty well. She said, I can make a list of 10 plus things I cannot do until I turn 18. But my nephew, who is 5, could transition if he wanted to?
Yeah,
Question mark. Absolutely not. When he turns 18, he can make that decision. That's the point we're trying
Yes.
to make.
Yeah.
Exactly.
great point. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, exactly. That's the problem right there. And yeah. I want to, because it's going to get us heated up. But I think we've kind of beat that to a pulp already. But
Are we beating a dead horse?
yeah, well, you know what I mean. It's a very sad thing, and people obviously there's a lot of people talking about it, but it's like you got to ask that question: what can we do about it? But I want to tell you something. Speaking of money and the money that we're given to, let me give you a quick stat. We'll kind of go on a happier note of dreaming. Let's just dream, if you will. Could you imagine this? We talk about the stimulus bill, $1.9 trillion. Now, we've had other bills altogether. Altogether, with those bills combined, it's $4.8 trillion among the U.S. Households. Okay, it's been divided basically. Sorry, getting distracted. We good? Yeah. I'll tell them. I'll get them on in just 1 second. But listen to what we should have done. $4.8 trillion. All right, rather than trying to imagine what the U.S. would have looked like without the massive spending, imagine instead what the U.S. would have looked like had the government just divided that $4.8 trillion among U.S. households. Listen to this. What would that have done? There are 123 million households in the U.S. given income cutoffs. The stimulus checks have been going to around 80% of those households. Had the government simply divided that $4.8 trillion evenly among the 80% of 123 million households, each would have received a check for almost $50,000. Now listen, now you go like, okay, remember, it's your money that we paid into this system. Watch what this would do. So now think about what the United States would look like right now if 80% of households had received a check for $50,000. For one thing, and for the first time in history of the human race, a country would have entirely eradicated poverty. The poorest 20% of U.S. households would have seen their standards of living skyrocket to the middle class overnight. A single full-time worker would have received the equivalent of a $24 an hour raise.
All right. I agree. I'm going to play devil's advocate.
I'm not saying it's right.
How long would it last?
I get that. My point being, though, is if you're really going to help the people here, instead of giving it to some stupid subway system that you want to put into the California right now with Nancy Pelosi.
You want to build a bridge in New York with Schumer.
Right, and you want to put another Cuomo name on it. It's, by the way, again, it's the Tappan Zee Bridge.
Take that money
and
give it to the homeless. I don't know.
Right.
Even whatever. We have a phone call.
Yeah, we do. I believe we have the patriotic American citizen online with us right now. And by the way, this be sure to go to the BMGnetwork.com and check out the Pac-Man podcast. Ted, if you are there, we have been talking about a little bit about your recent piece on the BMG Network under your daily perusal, which is entitled "Equality for Whom?"
Yeah, thanks, Ken, for having me. And I just caught the tail end of that, those numbers you were putting out there. $4.8 trillion. What's that? Is that the federal budget? The $4.8 trillion?
That was all of the stimulus packages combined.
Oh, I see.
And they were,
you know what people miss about all the stimulus spending is it's whose money is it? What's the source of that money? It's high earners.
Yes.
Mostly, it's a top 1%. Those people, they create the wealth. The entrepreneurial class, the ones who take risks with their own capital, they create the wealth that the government spends. The government redistributes it and divvies it up and as it sees fit. But it's really outrageous what goes on.
It is outrageous, and it's.
I hope to be one of the top 1% at one point in my life, but even if I'm not part of the 1%, I'm still blessed.
Don't forget the little people when that happens.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. boy, I'll tell you, it's just I get into these mini debates with some of these people on Facebook, and some of them are extended family members, and they just don't get it. They complain that the stimulus, their share of it isn't enough. It's like,
wow.
Please.
Yeah. Wow.
How much is enough?
I don't want to take up your show.
No,
please go for it.
But the Equality for Whom, basically, this is it's a bill again hatched by congressional Democrats, and they claim to be supporting LGBT people and homosexuals and the others, so to speak. But it would add sexual orientation and gender identity as protected classes under the Federal Civil Rights Act. We don't need those additions. They're already protected. Everybody's protected. You know what I mean? It's just more of the same. And what it would do is they're going after Christians, basically, people who want to follow the dictates of their faith and their consciences. It's aimed at those people. In the column, and I give examples of that and how certain Christians are singled out. One guy was an Ohio father was denied access to his child was taken away from him, his 17-year-old daughter, because he wouldn't give her testosterone treatments.
Yep.
I mean, this is what's going on in America, and I'm telling you, I don't think that the Equality Act will pass because it would have to pass the Senate, and there just aren't enough votes because I guess due to some arcane law in the Senate, some rule, they would need 10 Republicans to sign on to the bill before it gets to Biden's desk. He would certainly sign it, but I don't think they're going to get 10 Republicans, although I don't know.
Yeah, and obviously Biden would not know even what he's signing. He's just.
Well,
Well, yeah,
I have to say, I mean, I will give credit to the Democrats. If they continue to succeed in everything they want to do, I will give credit. They will have equality. They will ultimately get what they want, and everybody will have it equally bad.
Equally bad,
right.
yeah, right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Equality is a scourge we've been living with since the French Revolution. I mean, you remember the rallying cry then in 1789 was Égalité, Fraternité. I can't think of the third one. Liberty, equality, brotherhood. Liberté, égalité,
that's right.
fraternité. But, we're not all equal, Ken and Mike. And
Yep.
you know that.
No.
Everybody's not equal. We're not equal in our abilities. We're not equal in our income. We're not equal in our physical abilities. I mean, Michael Jordan is not equal to, or was not, maybe he is now, but when he played, he was not equal to, some third-string high school forward somewhere. I mean, everybody's different. We have different skills, different God-given talents, and that's a good thing,
That's right. Exactly. Exactly.
But anyway, I'm running off at the mouth here. I think I'm jacked up on coffee. It's a long day at the legislature. But you guys sound great. You're doing a great job, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. But the Equality Act, let's hope and pray that it doesn't see Biden's desk, because if it does, like you say, Ken, he won't know what he's signing.
Yeah.
And it'll be too late.
That's right. But yeah, no, and Ted, I mean, you actually in your recent podcast, which by the way, folks, be sure and check out the Pac-Man podcast at the BMGnetwork.com. But your recent one, you also kind of talk about this International Women's Day, which is kind of what the heck? What is that?
Well, I don't know that you could certainly Google it or Wikipedia and find the history of it, but I think it's just it's meant. It probably has good intentions, but we know where good intentions lead. I think those people on the left want to just draw attention to the accomplishments of women, and there have been many of them, and to the accomplishments of blacks. That's why they single out February as Black History Month, and March is there's International Women's Day on March 8th, but the entire month is dedicated to women at the Assembly, at the legislature. They single out the accomplishments of, and there, like I say, have been many of women, but down there where I work, and this is the perspective from which I come, I mean, everybody's kind of singled out by race, by ethnicity, by sex, and everybody, but there's one segment conspicuously left out: white males. It's like, what about there's a legislative group for every single ethnicity. There's the Asian American caucus, there is the Black and Puerto Rican caucus, there's this caucus, there's that caucus. There's no white male caucus.
Mm-hmm.
I find that kind of discriminatory.
Right, but you don't have, for whatever reason, we're not at liberty to say that.
Yeah, I say it to people
Right.
who will listen, but you can't say it because then you'll be labeled a racist. And no white person wants to be labeled a racist in 2021.
Right.
It's just no right-thinking person does.
It's interesting because we just had recently, a couple weeks ago, we had Sam Sorbo on, and with her new book, Words for Warriors, and she's pretty much taking back, what the left is kind of doing with the words and the wording. And one of those words that we keep passing around here is microaggression. I mean, that's what they take, the smallest things, and we were just talking about a little while ago about the Dr. Seuss books, and one of them being like, because they were portraying an Asian person as an Asian person.
God forbid.
A caricature. This is just systemic racism at its core.
That's unbelievable. Dr. Seuss was anything but a racist. I mean, he was certainly no anti-Semite. He fought against it. He was a Roosevelt liberal.
Interesting.
Seuss, but they don't want to hear about that. They have a narrative, and they want to pummel us into canceling Dr. Seuss and Mr. Potato Head and Mr. Ed and Mike Lindell and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
They're neo-Marxists. Everything they're pushing is hurtful to America. Every single thing that they push.
What do you think the end game is, though?
Yeah, that's
What
They want
is
government
the end game?
central government control. They want to grow government. They want to take away individual liberties and individual freedoms, and they're chipping away at it. And you can say, well, and I'm a lot older than you guys, and I remember this stuff when I was 25 and 30, and my parents talking about the McCarthy era, and they loved Joe McCarthy, and I grew up in an Irish Catholic household, and he was a hero to them, and now I see why. I mean, I'm not on board everything that McCarthy did, but I think what he was preaching against is certainly happening in the culture. I mean, somebody labeled it cancer culture. I like that better.
Yeah.
It's really,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a cancer. What they're pushing is detrimental to America, detrimental to our freedoms, our founding, everything for which our founding stands. They're against, and I'm going to fight it as best I can.
And you are.
My question is, though, they finally achieve this end game goal of final control, but then everything dries up.
Yeah.
So-
they're going after the goose that lays the golden egg, basically.
Right. So everything dries up. So that's why I keep saying, what is the end game? Because eventually we're going to stop feeding them if they're controlling. I don't understand. I don't understand the viewpoint. I really don't.
Well, they're going to start a new congressional, basically a Democratic Party up in Mars. I think that's what they're trying to do.
Hunger Games.
That's it. They want control over everything, and they're angry. They're angry people. That's what the cancel culture is all about. I mean, these angry liberals are just upset about everything. I see them every day. I see them down there, and they're just more power.
I'll pray for you more now.
Yeah.
The more power that accrues to them, the angrier they get. I don't get it.
And that's what I tell everybody when I talk about our podcast, and yours in particular, is that when they listen, they're actually getting an inside scoop from somebody who actually has to work in the
belly of the beast.
I was just going to say, something else. I was going to say pretty much the pit of hell, but
Yeah, that's right. I like that better.
yeah. But you're getting an inside scoop to somebody who understands what's going on in the legislature, where they talk about legislation. So I mean, it's good for us. I mean, obviously your kids are very bright. I mean, because your wife and yourself, you guys have taught them. Have they been homeschooled their whole life? I forget.
Yeah. My sons are still homeschooled, but
Okay.
my daughters are back in the government school system because they wanted to play sports.
Yes.
And to do that, you have to be enrolled in the curriculum. So I mean, they have you. But my daughters, I'm going to brag on them a little bit. I know you guys. I don't want to go over your time, but
Nope, go.
I mean, their averages for all their classes together are over 100. So they're.
And if you guys, I don't mean to cut you up. I want to
send my kids to you.
I want to say, if anybody hasn't seen, if you go, I think it's on your Facebook. You've posted a couple of things. I think is it Madeline is the artist?
Yes, Madeline's the artist. They're both very good artists.
Yeah, my gosh.
It is her. She got an Instagram page. It is. Oh my gosh! I want to say Maddie's glowing, but I'm not positive. I'll get that on my next podcast. But anyway,
it is incredible.
Yeah, they're very gifted.
That's just it. But here's the thing about your kids: they actually know real history. They could come on this show right now and blow us out of the water. I mean, they used to come to the station and talk about it. I'm just like, I am an idiot. I don't know anything. I'm going to start reading.
Well, Mama's taught them well. I mean, she's my wife has homeschooled them and has done an excellent job in schooling them. My wife's father is a teacher, and my mother was a teacher. She was a teacher of Latin and teacher of English. So they have that. It's in their genes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
And that's the thing. And what's happening right now is such a disservice to our founding fathers and the principles. And you watch these movies. I don't know. There's a book about George Washington and the Secret Six, and they put a show out too called Turn. And it doesn't really do it justice because Hollywood took a little liberty on some of the stuff, like Abram Woodhull and those guys. But when you watch this stuff, you get like, look at what these people did for our sake today, and look what we're doing, pretty much spitting on their graves. We might as well go over there and kick them over.
Look at the legacy they left us, a great country, and they gave up everything for what they did. They were men of wealth, and they had power. They didn't have to, and they sacrificed it all. They sacrificed their lives and their livelihoods and all that wealth. They were landowners. They didn't need to do what they did, but they wanted freedom.
That's just exactly. And there's some words I want to use right now, and I won't.
So, I know what that's like.
Yeah, I mean, there's one person. By the way, for those who know, Ted and I worked, and Mel as well. We worked together at a local radio station at one time. We had Dana Lash on our station for a little while,
Yeah.
And I forget, she said something, and the word that she used goes, "This is the pansification of America right here." And so that's really what when you look at it, you're just like, what? No, you had people literally spying and sneaking and knowing they're going to lose their lives and standing up and fighting physically, literally. And we're sitting around counting if we want to be a male or a female.
I can't. I just
I know.
get so ticked off.
I know.
I can't think straight. But what was the word, pansification?
Pansification, yeah, something like that, yeah.
I
Like my
wanna
wife
watch
was saying.
Muppets.
My wife was saying we're getting the men are like the men in France in 1789 when they lost their country to the revolutionaries. I mean, they were wearing white powdered wigs and girdles and everything, and that's what we're seeing here. It's like we don't need you to walk around thumping your chest all the time and flexing, but be a man about things. Stand up for something.
I'm going for my fitting this weekend.
You gonna dye your hair, Mike?
Mike is gonna let down his hair.
Holy cow!
Yeah, it's getting just. You'd say, oh, it's getting grossly inappropriate. It's so beyond that.
Yeah. Well, the devil, he knows his time is short, and that's really the source of all this evil.
That's right.
Amen.
Well, listen, Ted, Mr. Pac-Man, thank you so much for joining us, and we're going to talk real soon. But by the way, people can find you obviously at the BMGnetwork.com. You can check out his columns there, and also check out the Pac-Man podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
for the
Ted.
plugs.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ken.
Yes.
Thanks, Mike. We'll see you guys soon.
Yes, sir.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye. There you have it. If you can't tell, you're going to want to obviously tune into his podcast. He's well informed. He knows what he's talking about. But go to the BMG Network. I can't talk now. Now I'm stung. Okay, I know I was related to
This
Joe
guy
Biden.
Epic.
No.
A news alert.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Epoch.
Trump builds leverage for overhaul of GOP.
Oh, okay, good.
That's from the Epoch. Epic Times.
Epic Times.
Epoch.
So listen, Mike, it's been fun. Tonight's been fun. We were riled up.
It was a good show. I had a blast.
I had a blast. Thank you. Mel, thank you very much. Guys, again, go to the BMGnetwork.com. Yeah,
we'll be here next week.
Yeah, that's
Tuesday.
You can turn that one off. That's the first bumper. But yeah, Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern
Standard Time.
Is that here in New York?
I hope so.
I hope so too. I hope we're not here in New York soon, man. I don't think I can take anymore.
Tennessee, baby.
Yeah, Tennessee, baby.
That's what I keep telling my wife, but she keeps shutting it down.
But if we all get together and get our wives on board,
Tennessee.
My wife is almost there. So I mean, we got to.
I know others who are planning to go to Tennessee.
Yeah, lots of us.
I know who's already there now.
Yes.
Daily Wire.
Who?
Daily Wire.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Our competitor. Our other competitor.
Tune in next week.
Yes, to the Get It Mike Show. Thank you guys very much. Go to the BMGnetwork.com and check us out there. Go to Facebook. Please like us. Share us with your friends. We really
God bless
appreciate
you.
it.
We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Mel. And we're going to have that music coming up for you in a second. There you go. And we're back at the first bumper again. It's okay. It's the outro. There it is. God bless you guys.